Good morning, everyone. A very good morning. Shall we start or shall we begin the session? Today is the items and event where we have left yesterday how to make or how to adjust the items and events that is used for the partial invitation, that is used for the, we can say, the new features of .NET that enables you to define part of a class in one file and with another file that is compiled together as a one class, and that is also used to hide some additional generated code. Okay, we should wait. So let's begin with the session once again. This is a code that is given for this application, Outlook.application using system.windows.form, and this is the coding that includes with the header files. When I talk about the Outlook, that is included in the Microsoft Office.into Outlook. Yes, very good. Then there's the namespace Outlook add-in 1 public partial class this application. So whenever we are using this application, so there are two parts in this. One is the startup event, one is the shutdown event. And VSTO designer generated code is also used for the internal startup. So we are going to start with the internal part. That is this dot startup is equals to new system event handler. It is dot shutdown new system event handler, that is the shutdown event. So there are two parts, startup, shutdown. One is a VSTO generated code, one is a normal coding that is used in the C++ or the Java. We can say this is incremented one by one when we are using this dot startup plus. And when we look at the listing 2.4, you might wonder about the use of the partial in the class definition that uses with the definition, or we can say that uses with the new features of .NET that enables you to define the part of a class in one file and another part of a class in a second file. Then compile them together as a one class. And this also uses this feature to hide from additional or hide some additional generated code that is associated with it. This application features actually reduce the complexity. Whatever the complex project it is, whatever the complex code it is, this is used to complex this into the compiled code from the partial class in listing 2.4. And there's the addition code that is also given in a partial class generated by the BSU that is hidden from you. An internal startup method is also generated by the VSTO and used to hook up any event handlers generated by the VSTO. This is where the startup and the shutdown event handler are hooked up, are used up. And you should not edit this section of the code because when we omit the blank of the block of the code, that will be given in the case file, that will be given, otherwise the class will fail to compile. So we are using the add-in that will solve the annoying problem. People reply independently to an email. Yeah, for example, say 25 people at given time, that is used by sending to an email to more than one person or more than 25 people, we can say. That may be 25,000 people, that depends on the requirement to requirement. Whenever people inadvertently apply to an email that is sent that contains a large number of the number of people that is coming up, and then unless you have the vice president in your title, you will be sending more than one, say 25 people at a given time. Now we are going to create an add-in that will warn you if you do this. So this is a potentially career limiting mode. Are you sure you want to send this email to 25,000 people message? An Outlook application object as an item send event that is raised whenever a user sends an email. So we will add additional code to the startup method of this application class to connect to an event handler for the item send event. That item send event handler will be used to take the additional code to take the listing that is given in the items and event. And because this application class derives from an aggregate of Outlook application objects, so we can write this code as a this dot item send, because item send is an event raised by this application based class, and this handler becomes the object parameter known as the item, which is the Outlook item being sent. So whatever the Outlook item that is being sent, this will be used, that can be used with the number of the parameters, number of the things such as a meeting request or the email message. An item is passed as an object rather than a specific type. So whatever the object we can take, whatever the object we can use, that will be given for a specific type. And the item send event handler also have a bool parameter passed by a reference known as a cancel. This pass parameter can be used as a set to the true to prevent the Outlook item from being sent. So for example, I have sent the item that is given to the true. So we can either use true or the cancel for this event. So that event will be available or will be used within the final table, we can see. This final table will be moved by using this dot items and event. And in our items and event handler, we need to actually check out to see whether the item event is passed as an object is actually an email. And the easiest ways to forgot or use the keyword is to try to cast the item parameter to an outlook dot mail item. And if the cast succeeds, it automatically moves to the null value or non-null value. And we will know that the item being set is an outlook.mail item. Therefore, an email message will be generated with the recipient's collection on the mail item object. And check to see whether we are sending any recipient list that includes more than 25 people. And each object in this collection has an address entry as an object property by returns an address entry object. And this address entry object has a parameter or the members property that returns a collection that we can check the count of. And if we find out the count to be more than 25, so we will show a dialog that asks the answer for user if she really wants to send the email. And if the user clicks on the no button, we will cancel the parameter. Otherwise, it is true. That is the vice versa. If the user says yes, then we will set the event as a true. If the user says no, we will cancel the event or we will use the cancel parameter. Yeah, that is also okay for the cancel or cancelling the parameter that is available in this. This is the career limiting email. So this is where how we can use the item send with the startup and the shutdown. Now look at this example and tell me what are these 4 lines. Now you are supposed to tell me these 4 lines. Just read out for 2 minutes. Have you read this program? These 4 lines, yes, tell me. These are the header files, right? First line is using the system. Using system.windows.forms, where we are using the system with the windows and we are taking out the forms. Then Visual Studio, tools, application, runtime. So we are taking out the application environment. Then Outlook, Microsoft.office.intro.outlook. This is also used with the application-based scenarios. We are using first of all system with the Windows environment, and we are dealing with the forms. We are dealing with the Visual Studio. We are dealing with the Outlook. So we are using the Outlook, we can say. And Outlook is a part of the Microsoft Office. And this namespace Outlook add-in will be used as a partial class. This application and this application startup that includes 2 parts, object sender and the event argse. Then this dot item send, that is also plus equals to new. And whenever we use this one, so Outlook dot application events, that will be used as 11 and the item send event handler, this application item send. So these 2 parts will be used as an item send because item object and the reference rule will be used as a cancel to use as this application underscore item send. And Outlook.mail item, my item equals to item as Outlook.mail item. So we are using the item as an Outlook mail item. And if this is not equals to null, next scenario is this is not equals to null. So for each part, for each loop, we are considering Outlook.recipients, recipient my item.recipient. So whatever the recipient's value, whatever the Outlook value, that will be used in the my item.recipients. And if the sub.address entry members.count is greater than 25. So if it is greater than 25, ask the user if she really wants to send this email because this is going beyond the 25. Where limit is 25. That is going beyond the 25. So there is a message that is saying more than 25 recipient. It is that okay. You receive your pop-ups. Yes. That will ask you whether to proceed with more than 25 recipients. Message box buttons. Message box button dot yes dot no. Dialog result. Then result is equals to message box dot show. Now this is used as a message box and show. We are using the string format, string dot format message. This is address entry name, address entry dot members dot count. Again, there are 2 parts. One is a caption, one is a button. Now, if these are equals to, or if this result is equals to dialog result dot no, So cancel equals to true and then break. And this application shutdown event will be used as a sender, object sender in the event ARGS. This is a VSTO designer generated code by which we can use the startup event. So test.startup plus equals to new system, event handler, this application startup, this shutdown plus new system, event handler, this application shutdown. So there are two parts on this, startup and the shutdown. And after that, there is the end of the reason. So there is an internal startup, there is the end of the reason, there is a startup for the shutdown event. And when you run this project, the project with the code that is shown, so Outlook launches the Outlook or adding loads. Try sending an email to an alias that includes more than 25 people. So you might go to the offline first in case you mistype the code. And if it all works right, so the adding will display a dialog box that is warning you that you are sending an email to more than 25 people. Are you able to cancel? Or are you able to continue with this that product that we can say the information that will be provided that is concluded in the VSTO by using creating Outlook adding with the VSTO. So this programming will be used, working with Outlook objects will be used, Discuss will be used as an object model. Next is code behind the document. Now next is what is the code that is used behind a document. So there's a code, VSTO code, or the support behind a document by requiring that the developer use classes generated in a VSTO project that have a pre-hooked up context and the pre-hooked up event. There are two parts, one is the context, one is the event. And these classes are sometimes known as the code behind classes because they are code associated with a particular document or worksheet. And in a Word, there is only one code behind class corresponding to the document. In Excel, there are multiple classes, multiple codes behind the classes. One for the workbook, one for each worksheet or the chart sheet in the workbook. The first time your code runs in a VSTO code behind the document project is when the Office stage is the startup event. So whenever Office stage the startup event that is handled by any of the code behind classes created for you. So VSTO provides a context via the console application. So there is a console application that is used with the base class. This base class will be used for the, we can say, writing the code in the VSTO projects. And this customizing an Excel spreadsheet or worksheet that derives from the base class that contains all the methods, properties, and event of an Excel worksheet. This enables you to write the code such as this in the startup method of a worksheet class. This is messagebox.show, string format, 0 is the sheet name, this dot name. By using this dot name, you are referring to the name property of the Excel worksheet object inherited from the base class. So whatever the base class we are using up, whatever the name property we are using up, so that name property will be used as an Excel spreadsheet, Excel worksheet. Next is a listing that shows an VSTO code behind the class for an Excel worksheet. In addition to this startup and the shutdown event in the code behind the class, there is also a generated method known as the internal startup method. And you should not put any of the code in the internal startup method because it is auto-generated by the VSTO. And modifying it can break Visual Studio support for the code behind the classes. So instead of this, we are using the startup code that should go in the startup event handler also. This code behind a document class also use partial classes to hide some additional code generated by VSTO. Whatever the code we are using that is used as a partial code to hide some additional information. Additional information includes Excel worksheet, Excel workbook that is included in the customization. That is included with the customization of the project. This is 7 header files, system.data, drawing, Windows Forms, Visual Studio, Office Intro, Excel, and our Office Outlook, that is a Microsoft.office.course. So this Excel workbook will be used as a partial class sheet 1. And this private void sheet 1 starter will be used as a sender, will be used as an event ARGS. This initial entry point, and this code gets run fast when the code behind this is created. And the context is also implicit in the sheet 1 class. So this is messagebox.show, code behind the document running. Messagebox.show, string format, 0 is the sheet name. Private void sheet 1 shutdown, object sender, event ARGS. Again there are two parts, one is the sender, one is the then reason VSTO designers generated code. Summary. There is a required method for the designer support. Do not modify the content of this method with the code editor. A summary will be closed. This is like a definition, or you can see the code comment that is given. Private void internal startup. New system event handler sheet 1 startup. This code shutdown. New system event handler sheet 1 shutdown. Here is the end of the reason. Then VSTO code that is also used behind a document in Excel. So this is file new project. User C# root, and this is used to specify the Excel worksheet workbook project using C#. That will turn out with you just from the scratch, creating a new blank workbook. This is a project, this is a template that is used, this is the interface window that is used for creating a new project. And this Excel workbook will also be created for the existing one. What kind of document do you want to use? Either do you want to use with a new one, either you want to use with an existing document. After we have created the project, designer view also appears. This is as it is shown in figure 2.9. And notice that a few interesting facts are also interesting. That is, Excel is running inside Visual Studio. As a designer, just as the same as in Windows Form Designer that will develop a Windows Form project. And VSTO means Visual Studio menu that is given with the build, debug, and so on. And the Excel menu items will be formatted, will be used as in format, data, and so on together. That will be selected to set the Excel tools menu. This is the Microsoft Excel tools, spelling, grammar, research, error checking. These are categorized in